everyone. Hello, and welcome back to It's All a Work. If you guys don't know, the reason that we started late today is because of the Uncle Howdy teaser on Twitch that we had to watch. To my side, it is Dreshin. Down below, it is Hanji Manji, and it is me, your boy, Big T. And we are here today to review what happened on Raw on the road to King and Queen of the Ring 2024.
Yo, we gotta do something about G being on the bottom. I feel that's racist somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there, but we'll ignore it for the time being.
I mean, G said he's alright with it, so, you know.
That's it for the time being. Don't get it twisted.
I might be able to fix that one day. We'll see, but not today. So, and probably not in the next podcast. But I do want to let you guys know at the top of the show, and we'll let you know at the bottom of the show or the end of the show, that the way that we are streaming the next couple days, whether it's all three of us, whether it's two of us, or whether it is one of us, we will bring you the review of SmackDown tomorrow evening right after SmackDown. And then King and Queen of the Ring will happen in Jeddah on Saturday, and Sunday will be the review of King and Queen of the Ring. So that's how we're going to do that. But outside of that, we do have a show to get put in the books, or we have a show that's in the books and we have to review it. So without further ado, Liquid Death. We're not sponsored by them, but we would like to be one day. And this Raw starts out how every show starts out. You guys know how it starts out, so I'm just going to skip it. Needless to say, there are a bunch of wrestlers in the building, and we're going to get straight into our Sami Zayn segment where Sami Zayn is going to talk about, he's going to come to the ring and he's going to talk about his heart and his soul and how this match is
The power of positivity.
Yes, power of positivity. And he's going to talk about how this match is a match against mind, body, and soul. It's going to be about how Chad Gable is the mind and Bronson Reed is the body with his strength, and then Sami Zayn represents the soul. Now, as you guys all know, this is G's favorite wrestler. So G was very excited to see this promo. G was very upset when Chad Gable...
Log the hell out on you.
Do what?
He gonna log out on you.
G was very upset when Chad Gable came out to explain why he isn't a manipulator. Chad is going to come out and he's going to say that all he did was ever try to help Sami. He says that he's a far too nice a person, or he's been far too nice a person to people like Sami and to the clowns behind him. If anybody's wondering, the clowns were Maxine Dupree, Akira Tozawa, and Otis, the members of his stable. He's going to turn his back to Sami and look at them and call each one of them failures. Tell Otis that he's the biggest disappointment on the planet. And to this, Sami's going to say, when are you going to be done taking Chad's crap, Alpha Academy? When are you going to be done with this? And Chad says, you're not driving a wedge between me and my team. They've already rededicated themselves to me, and we're going to win the Intercontinental Champion. Chad says that he's sick, much like a lot of other people, that he's sick of hearing about Sam's heart and soul. And in Jeddah, he's not only going to take Sami's title, but he's going to take his soul as well. This is going to bring us into our match. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. The match itself, pretty decent match, right? You have Chad in there. Anytime you have Chad in the ring, it's going to be a good match. What do you guys think about the promo? What do you guys think about the match?
I don't know about you.
It was actually pretty good.
I'm not interested in the story. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm just not interested in the story at all. There's nothing that pulls me to it and goes, yeah, you should watch this. Meh.
The only part that pulls me in is watching Sami lose, but that's just me. Power positivity needs to go down eventually. again, the match wasn't bad. I didn't really like the interference with Big Meaty Man. Did not really like it, but didn't care for it. But I mean, I respect it at the same time. But it's the after effect, which I was like, yo, you got to stand on your business. If you did what you did, stand on it. But other than that, it wasn't bad.
You're saying, what were you saying, Chad Gable? If you did what you did, stand on your business?
No. That's his name at the moment. Otis. There we go. Otis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't know, Otis went to apologize to Sammy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? Why? No, stand on business. You wrecked the shit. You cost him the match. Stand on business.
Yep.
I mean, gave in to Chad, so you know.
And had that been a different wrestler, almost any different wrestler, they would have tried to destroy Otis right there on the spot. You know, that goes back to stand on your business. You don't go in to apologize to a motherfucker after you do that. But it is what it is, and you know, this match itself, like G was saying, the way that it is going to end is Sammy's gonna. So basically, I'll go over a little bit of it. The story here is that Chad keeps trying to get the Alpha Academy to interfere, right? First with Maxine Dupree, second with Akira Tozawa. He kicks them out of the arena when they won't cheat for him. And then finally, he asks Otis to cheat for him. At first, Otis doesn't. Chad is going to slap Otis in the face and grab the IC belt, try to hit Sammy with it. Sammy counters, hits the exploder, sets up for the haluva kick. This is when, like G was saying, Otis comes in and just gets up on the apron and just hits a mean clothesline. It's enough to distract Sammy, which gets Chad to go into lets Chad do the chaos theory. And then from there you get the 1, 2, 3. Chad gets the momentum going into Jeddah. Personally, even though, like, so as far as investment, Dresh, I understand what you're saying. Like, the investment in this is hard because this is a story that has been building ever since well before WrestleMania. Maybe before Elimination Chamber. So this story's gone on, and I understand long-term storytelling, but the thing is the long-term story has to be a good one, right? So, yeah, that's that. We're gonna get Chad getting the momentum. I hope Chad wins. Any match that Chad is a part of is a good one. So yeah, we're gonna move on from this match, and we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit later. We're gonna see Jackie Redmond in the back after the commercial, speaking with Chad and Otis. Otis's involvement in the last match, and we hear a commotion that sounds like someone. Well, so it sounds like people fighting. So they're gonna run. So Jackie is gonna run and down this hallway, and she's gonna find the LWO hovering over Cruz del Toro, and Rey's yelling at this point to Adam. And the only thing we can really make out from this entire thing is that it looks like Carlito grabbed Cruz del Toro and just attacked him in the back. And this will play in a little bit later on. But you can assume that Rey is trying to set up some kind of match with Carlito, with somebody from LWO for next week. I did want to mention this. It sounds like King of the Ring was a lifesaver for them, because it doesn't seem like they have a lot set up after King of the Ring. A lot of feuds and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, with that in the back, I think it's Carlito pushing in, and I think it's them pushing towards exactly what what the Judgment Day said, which is handle your business.
Yeah.
Because it seems to me like they're pushing Carlito. He's trying to get in at the unit there, so he can get his match against Rey, so he can get his vengeance on Rey.
Do you guys think that he ultimately ends up in the Judgment Day?
I think technically he is right now. Like I think when the Judgment Day came out for the match, he was with them. They didn't say Judgment Day and Carlito. They said Judgment Day.
Mm.
But he's just a lackey at the moment. Like how
well, motherfucker, everybody except Rhea's a lackey.
Well, no, the Funko Pop, the human Funko Pop was the lackey before they let him into the Judgment Day. So you gotta give him a little bit of time to, you know, do his thing, stand on business, finish his beef with Ray, and then the Judgment Day will let him in. So I think that's where they're going with that.
Heard that. So what ends up happening next?
Outside of that, who cares? Outside of that, who cares?
Do what?
He says, "Who cares?"
Saying, outside of that, who really cares?
What do you mean? Outside of what?
LWO, Carlito, Judgment Day. Outside of, you know.
Well, I think after he did the betrayal, I don't know that they think Carlito is strong enough to stand on his own. So they're looking for somewhere to put him so he's got a faction. Either that or WWE has gone under the thought that everybody needs a fucking faction nowadays.
That's true.
Which I hope not, because it's entirely not true. That, you know, not everybody faction.
Well, Drew McIntyre has been able to stay out of one.
That's because he's the best man in the company right now, according to him.
If you were to ask him, yeah, that's true. Let's see. So, but outside of all that drama, outside of all that drama, we're going to get into our next match. We're going to get into Bron Breakker versus Kale Dixon. So, at first, I was upset. Because I was like, alright, so they're doing the same thing. And I will say, I was mad at first when I watched this. I was like, really? Because he's just going to kill this guy. So what happens is... do what?
I said at first he was afraid.
Yeah. Well, I wrote out most of this match because it's over pretty quickly. So, match is going to start out with Bron coming to the ring completely pissed off that he was left out of the tournament. He's actually in the ring, in the corner, talking to himself about it. And he's upset that he's against this random guy. Not even a real challenge. So, Bron's going to hit the spear in the ring, throw the guy to the outside, and then he's going to run around the ring and spear the absolute shit out of Kale. And he gets him back in the ring, and the ref's going to call the match because Kale just cannot continue. The ref's going to pick up... Oh, God. Okay, good. The ref's going to pick up Kale to make sure he's okay, and this is going to cause Bron to run back and forth 3 times on the ropes and hit another spear. And then basically takes the guy out, takes the kid outside, acts like he's going to crush him with the steps. Security's going to get involved. The kid puts his head in between the steel stairs, the crack of the steel stairs that Bron dropped. So Bron grabs a chair and slams his head into it, walks past Adam Pearce, who decides, obviously he's watching from gorilla position, then he decides he's going to walk out when this kid's halfway dead. Walks out and looks at Bron, and he's like, "What was that?" And Bron goes, "This is your fault." Walks away.
Tough.
Hey, can I ask y'all a question? Do you know how Teddy Long would have handled this?
He would have put him against the Undertaker.
Teddy Long would have come out and been like, "You want to kill people? Then you have to go against the Undertaker."
The Undertaker.
It's
like, what? He's retired. Leave that dead man alone.
Hey, he would have shown up in the middle of the ring too. Lights would have gone out. He'd been like, "Who the hell? Why?"
You knew he was already there.
Fair. But we're going to go to commercial and come back, and we're going to see Kale being taken out on the stretcher. This is the first stretcher scene I've seen in a very long time. They haven't pulled a stretcher scene in a while. Not this year, maybe not even last year. It's been a long time. So they pull out the stretcher scene, and we go to the back. And Kiana James walks up to Adam and goes, while this man is dead on the stretcher, she's like, Adam, is there anything that I can do to help? And Adam's like, no, we're fine. And he bangs on the ambulance, takes away Kale, and he looks at Bron and he says, Bron, what was that? I'm not good at math. Help me add this up. What were you thinking? And Bron just reiterates what he said before out in the ring. He said, you didn't put me in the King of the Ring tournament. That's on you.
What?
And just walks away. Really happy that we're doing something different with Bron. I see, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I see a little bit of hope for Bron now. What'd you guys think of this random loser from NXT getting crushed?
I thought it was good. I thought it needed to happen.
Yeah, it's a good use of Bron. It kind of, it looks like there's going to be an actual fucking story here finally for him.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets to do something other than squash matches.
Yep.
But that was the point of this. Like, he was in here to squash, and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's going to the hospital. So this is on whoever's putting me in these squash matches. Adam Pearce. So I liked it. I love the use of it because it showed that Bron is about to take it to another level if he doesn't get what he wants. Hence the question in the poll: will Bron get the matches he wants? Yes, no, championship.
And yeah, guys, this is something new that we're going to be doing from now on. We're going to be putting polls up, and basically having people vote on it. We want more interaction in the podcast from the viewers. So there are some people who don't really want to. There are some people who don't really want to chat. So I think this is a good way to get conversation, to get some buy-in and things like that. So we're going to try this for a while and see how it works. As far as Bron is concerned, I do think that something good is happening. I really hope that it's a title in his future. But we will see. I mean, that's really all you can say. We've been saying that for the past 6 weeks with him, since before WrestleMania. But, I mean, he does not, no matter what I've seen him do so far, he doesn't look bad. So, but we're going to move on to our next match with Lyra Valkyria and Io Sky. Before the match, we're going to see, actually, you know what, I looked up the pronunciation, so correct me if I say it wrong from now on, but it's Lyra Valkyria. So, Lyra Valkyria and Io Sky, Becky hypes her up before the match, before she walks out. She walks through Gorilla afterwards. They do the kind of follow thing, which is really cool. So Lyra Valkyria and Io Sky. You know, it was a good match. There were some good hard-hitting things in it, and it was, I don't know. I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys what you think about it, because like I'm very, very torn, which is why it's hard for me to talk about it right now. What are your all's thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was a good match. It was quoted to be the longest. Actually, it was quoted to be longer than all of the other combined women matches in the tournament, which is wild to me.
In the 2022 tournament. Or 2021 tournament. Yeah, I saw that stat.
Yeah. That's still wild. Like,
yeah,
that's insane. Anyway, I didn't hate the match. I thought it was a decently good match. It had its places. It had its volume. It was just, I don't know. It didn't hit home for me, but it was still like, you know, I watched it. It kept my attention.
Yeah. Dresh, how do you feel about it, my friend?
I mean, the match itself wasn't amazing. It was a good match, but it wasn't amazing. I was definitely glad to see Valkyria go over with it. That was, my choice on that. I don't think she's going to win it all, but I was glad to see them push her over at least. Really, I think it was just I don't know. Personally, I liked it. I really did. And most of the women's matches to me are pretty meh, but that one was good.
Fair enough.
It's hard. I feel horrible for saying it, but it was good for a women's match.
Yikes. You should feel bad about that. So, so, yeah, I will. Again, I have a hard time talking about this match because there were some good parts in the match, right? The Meteora that EO does is fantastic. EO doing the German, the catching the foot of EO, turning her foot around and doing that German with her foot stuck on her thigh or whatever. That was an amazing move. And then was this the match where she did the double drop kick to she does a drop kick to EO through the ropes but catches herself on the third and second rope.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic. So there was a lot of good hard-hitting moves in it. I just don't know if it was definitely a swerve. I just don't know if EO or if Lyra was the right one to go over. I still wonder if it should have been EO.
Really?
I still wonder if it should have been EO to go over. Also, I did come up with that wild prediction, and now I don't know what's going to happen. My whole prediction of Bianca turning heel ultimately and Bianca winning the crown and stuff like that. I mean, that might still happen, but it's not going to happen in the way that I thought it was going to happen.
No, because they don't make that crown in junior sizes for the baby.
It's fair.
Jesus.
So, but we could see an overcome story if Lyra goes against Nia. That'll be wild. I don't see Lyra beating Nia in any universe.
But I want you to think about this, Queen Nia. The bigness of her head will overshadow anybody else's in the company.
Of her head. Okay.
Yes, of her head. Relax.
Right.
Relax.
Right. Yeah.
But just imagine Nia wins Queen of the Ring, and she just goes around calling herself Queen Nia.
Oh, she gonna come out there as a Lord Steven Regal.
Yeah.
She gonna get robes made up. She gonna make that crown. She gonna have a scepter. Yeah. No. 100%.
Oh my God.
She will be insufferable for the next year.
Yeah.
At least.
Insufferable. Until the next Queen of the Ring, yes. She will probably continue this until the next Queen of the Ring because she most likely will compete and possibly retain her Queen of the Ring status, which is something I feel like they're gonna do. But yeah, nah. Who's ready for that?
I mean,
I don't know how to be ready for that.
If the King and Queen is someone that I can't readily predict, which they've already done, I'm happy. So if it ends up being Nia, awesome. If it ends up being Lyra, awesome. I'm actually happy either way. I don't want it to be Bianca. I'm sorry, I really don't. Like I know I made that prediction and everything, but I don't want it to be Bianca Belair because they already got the tag team championship titles. I don't want it.
In my opinion, right now, she doesn't need. Again, it all comes down to the bump for me as far as who needs it. She doesn't need that bump at all. Like, she's been the women's God champion You know, she's been the face of the company already. Now she's the tag team champions. Let's run that storyline. Let's not make another fucking storyline. Unless you're the only way I could see her taking it and me being okay with it is if they're using it to drive that wedge like you talked about with her and Jade. But if she is actually, you know, pregnant like we've had heard, don't give her shit because she's going to have to advocate it here very soon. You know?
Fair. But I mean, but again, that's just rumor. But
it is just rumor.
I mean,
it is.
What if Bianca wins and, you know, she goes on her tirade as queen and it drives the wedge between Jade and her and the championship?
Look,
you
the
know,
EST can already be insufferable, so.
But I mean, that's fair. But at the same time, who cares about what anybody else needs? If it's her time to shine, it's her time to shine again.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan style.
I get that. I'm just saying, you know, this is all about storytelling nowadays. You know, the whole WWE. You know, I love the wrestling, but at the end of the day, WWE is just soap operas for men. And give me a decent fucking story, not one you've already told.
True that. So, either way, as we've kind of spoken about it, Lyra's going to end up going over. Your ending sequence is going to be Io will hit the Meteora by she'll hit the Meteora when she goes for the over the moonsault. Lyra is going to basically get up and stop Io. Io's going to adjust though and do another reversal to hit a power bomb on Lyra. Go for the over a moonsault again. She's going to miss. Lyra will go for the Nightwing, and when Io hits the reversal, Lyra just drops down and pins her. That's your ending sequence. Protects Io, which is good. And you know, Io looked really good during the match. Lyra looked like a damn champion. It is true. And I will say one more thing I want to talk about. Does anybody know the name of that move that she used? The swinging move that she used mid-match? That move was wild. It was a wild setup. But yeah, either way, Lyra goes on to the finals. Congratulations to Lyra. It should have been, y'all know how I feel, but it should have been Miss Tiffany Stratton. But, you know.
Wrong show.
But, you know, whatever. Her time will
film tomorrow night.
Her time will come. I had to get the shirt. I had to get the shirt. I'm sorry. Man, that's crazy. I thought y'all were gonna pop harder for that.
Why?
No.
Why?
Cause man, y'all always give me such a hard time for liking Tiffany Stratton. So I figured y'all were gonna see me see that I had the shirt and go in, but I guess not. I guess you guys aren't about it today. That's all right. So,
no, it's all good. That shirt goes with the MAGA hat.
You still with the MAGA hat?
Yeah.
Good Lord. You can make all the jokes you want. You know why? Because your camera keeps getting frozen every 4 seconds. So.
Yeah, because I got so much stuff going on this laptop. I got Twitch, I got this, I got everything else going on.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to buy you another laptop or a computer. I sent you a computer.
Yeah, this has better qualities than that computer.
Anyway, we're going to move on to Jackie Redmond in the back with Lyra. And is going to ask her about the match with Io. Or she's not in the back, she's in the ring. And she's going to ask her about the match with Io. And Io is going to just walk up and just yell Japanese at her. And Jackie's going to recover the interview and ask her about the tournament. And Lyra says that she had no idea that she'd be beating a former women's champion 3 weeks ago. But now she's only one Nightwing away from being the queen of the ring. And then we're going to go back to Truth talking to New Catch Republic about something like the Hokey Pokey or something like that. And then Miz is going to walk up, which pisses off Pete Dunne. Or Pete Dunne, I should say. Miz says they need to prepare for their match because the Judgment Day uses numbers. And Truth says, don't worry about it, dog. I talked to Andre the Giant and everything's going to be fine. And Miz tries to explain that Andre the Giant is dead, but Truth just responds with, trust me. So we're going to get that match, but before we get that match, we're going to get this. A little bit more direction for Bron Breakker, it would assume. So Caleb, or it would appear. So Caleb Braxton is in the back with Dragunov, and she asks him who he thinks will win the King of the Ring tournament. Dragunov mentions Jay being the main event and that he doesn't feel bad losing to him. And then he brings up Gunther. But just then, Ricochet is going to show up and, you know, say that they set the bar pretty high in their match. And it sounds like he might be trying to challenge Dragunov to another match or something like that. But Bron Breakker is going to show up out of nowhere and spear Ricochet through a portal. Like, Ricochet's got the absolute hell speared out of him. And we end up going to commercial from there. When we come back, Dragunov just seemed really upset. He was pissed off, making some weird face. Him and Tama Tonga should go out on a mandate or something, because apparently they make weird faces for no reason, I guess.
Get your boy.
So I can't tell who is the heel here. Like, I really can't.
What do you mean?
Well,
Bron?
well, no, because well, no, I mean, Dragunov sounded like a heel in his promo. Ricochet interrupted and sounded like a dick in his promo, and then obviously they're gonna try to paint Bron as a heel, but it's not gonna work. It's really not gonna work. No one cares about anyone cares about seeing Bron do right now is absolutely destroy people. Like, he's not a heel. Right. He's just a dude that fights.
So I'm gonna stop you there. That motherfucker is a heel because first of all, he's pissed off that he didn't get his match into the tournament. So now he's taking it out on everybody just to prove a point. That's heel work. All right. Secondly, that is friendly banter between Dragunov and Ricochet. It is what it is. They had a competition. They fought it out. Dragunov beat Ricochet. Ricochet just talking shit. Whatever. Dragunov looks like a heel because it's Dragunov. All right. You being racist. Stop it.
How about being racist? What?
Because it's Dragunov. Really? Motherfucker's always the bad guy.
He's Russian.
I want you to think about every action. Exactly. They're always the bad guy.
I mean,
name one movie with a Russian that he's not a bad guy.
I mean, that's fair. That's a lot of American propaganda.
Yeah, it is. But again, what is WWE? American propaganda.
Oh my god.
That's why black people have the SmackDown as a chocolate show. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm saying is, Bron was the heel in that, and we're probably going to have either a three-way or a handicap match. I don't know. I'm just excited for.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. Triple H seems to have an absolute hard-on for these triple threats and fatal four-ways right now. All we've seen.
I
wouldn't mind a triple threat. I wouldn't again. What?
I do not think that they'll put Bron in a triple threat. Ain't no way. Not yet.
They can put him in a handicap match.
Well, no. What I'm more saying is, like,
there ain't enough people in the locker room for a handicap match. Yeah.
Bron's not built for a triple threat match. Not right now. Like, what I mean by that, because I'll explain. What I mean by that is that his character that he's playing, you can't put him in a triple threat because he's dominating every single person. You need to have a couple wrestlers be able to hold him down, or what everybody's going to expect is Bron to get into a triple threat and just wreck any two wrestlers he's with. So you need someone to be able to work him a little bit. So I think Ricochet is going to work him a little bit, but I think he's ultimately going to squash Ricochet. And then
he just fucking do that.
Like I said, and then I think Dragunov will actually work him a little bit.
Yeah. Again, they've had matches in NXT where Dragunov actually beat him. That's why I'm saying, throw them either into a triple threat or a handicap match versus Braun. If you're going to build Braun as the beast he is, give him a challenge. Throw him in that triple threat where Ricochet and Dragunov can work him. And then, Braun can still show his prowess and kind of dominate, but still get worked as far as that match goes. That's all I'm saying. Because, it'll show some of his weakness or lack thereof. He's either going to destroy both of them or he's going to come out still looking good against both of them.
I think, and y'all are going to hate this, I think they should build Braun as a modern-day Goldberg.
I hate you.
Oh, fuck. I hate you so much. Can we bounce her from this podcast?
Why are we friends?
Fucking modern-day Ew!
Yeah.
Brother, ew!
They should build him as a modern-day Goldberg.
No, they shouldn't. That shit is played out. Oscar already did that. Don't take it away from the Japanese woman Asuka.
Yeah.
Like the men's side and the women's side, it's different. We haven't had a dominant male competitor in a very, very long time. The last one was Rusev. And when I say dominant, I mean one that just doesn't lose.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
He was still. It's different. It's different.
How? Explain. No,
it's very different.
How is that different?
It's the way you build him. Brock Lesnar had an aura about him. He had so much different aspects. When I say build Braun like Goldberg, I mean build him like Goldberg. He's already the build in the attitude. Brock Lesnar is different. Brock Lesnar beat a bunch of people, but it was a different style of, I don't know what to call it. And also, he was beaten in those times. He wasn't completely undefeated.
He has 2 moves.
So was Braun Breaker. He's been beaten. He's been beaten in NXT. They just moved him to the upper brand. They're just feeding him. That's why I said, why are we doing the Goldberg thing? It's stupid. We've seen him lose before.
I don't know. I mean, he's so dominant at this time. I think that the thing that gets me about it is if they don't have him completely just destroy Ricochet, it's going to halt his momentum. What happens is it ends up looking confusing.
It's not, because you know what? Who the fuck has he been fighting? Jobbers. He's not that dominant if you look at it. He's been fighting literally no names. Who was the kid that he fought last night? Name one match that he's ever fought in.
He's fought in NXT.
One match in NXT that he's fought in.
I don't watch NXT.
All right, let's go. Who was the other guy that he fought?
Which other guy?
The one in his last match.
This is kind of the point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not arguing that he was fighting jobbers.
But that's the point, though. If we're gonna build him to be strong, put him against somebody like Ricochet, put him against somebody like Dragunov, put him against somebody like Randy Orton, put him against somebody like Kevin Owens, put him up against some real beaters, and have him run over them. If you're gonna build that, don't put him up against jobbers. He already looks like, man, all right, we've seen you spear the hell out of no names. Now spear somebody else.
Oh,
if we're building him like Goldberg.
Oh, okay.
What the hell do you thought I said?
Don't say it. So
I heard something that made me sound not racist. I was like, oh, bet.
Oh my god. Jeez.
I was confused as shit, dude.
So, okay. either way, we'll get back to the thing here. We'll see what happens with Bron. If they're gonna build him to be dominant, I want him to be completely dominant. But we'll see how it happens. I mean, if it was Vince McMahon, he would have already lost to Hornswoggle by now. So I guess you can't be too mad. So
I'm laughing because you're not wrong.
I know, right?
So we're gonna get this Gunther vignette of Gunther walking through the empty arena. He puts Jay over because everybody needs to put over Jay because Jay's apparently the new Hulk Hogan. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
It's hype behind his name. That's all it is. It's just a hype behind Yeet. That is legit it.
I'm sorry, man. Look, I hate to say this. It's gonna piss some people off. All he has is a word, some swagger, and a super kick. That's all he got. That's it.
And that's all he needs. It's worked for him.
Don't forget to do a soul splash, motherfucker. Yeah, that's 4.
Okay, and he jumps off the ropes and throws his body at people. All right, cool.
Okay, but all he has is the swagger, the word, and a spear, and the motherfucker still makes 9 times what you do in a year in a week.
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. I understand. Like, I get that. That's not the point.
No,
the point is...
I don't get it. How do I get
He
that?
said, I don't get it. He said, I go out there saying word. I can do this.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right place at the right time, I guess. I don't know. But either way, Gunther puts over Jay, and then he says that despite the people being behind Jay, he's still going to beat Jay, and after that, the people's going to get behind him. He's already the ring general, soon to be king of the ring. I think this is true. We'll see. Move to Judgment Day in the back with Damian Priest. Comes up to them to hype the boys up for the match. Tells Carlito that he heard about the attack on Cruz, and it sounds like Cruz is going to be out for a while. No one cares. You're not doing anything with the LWO. Least of all, Cruz del Toro. You're not doing anything with him. No one cares if he's injured. All right, so he goes on and says that, you know, the LWO is going to be looking for Carlito, and Carlito says, yeah, I figured it was best to strike first since they're looking for me anyway, and now I came here to lay low. Priest says that we're not the APA and we're not going to protect you. Dom's going to interject and say that he helped Finn and JD last week, and Priest says exactly that's why he's allowed here right now, but he has to keep earning his keep. We end with Finn and Damian. And Finn says that he would rather it be them out there fighting for the titles. We're going to then get... There's a lot of... This area was a lot of commercials. We're going to... Or not commercials, but interviews and vignettes and crap. We then see Baron Corbin bowling. And I didn't even pay attention for half a second of what that was about at all. Do you guys know what that was about? Because I did not care whatsoever.
Baron Corbin went bowling.
Okay. As it looked like they were going back for a Happy Corbin thing, and I was like, son of a bitch, please don't.
He got a spare, and then Pat McAfee complimented his bald head and said something about it, and then it was over with. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. So then outside of that, Zoe and Shayna are in the back. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, and we get a surprise return in Sonya Deville walking up to them, the former SmackDown general manager. What? She says that she wants to talk to them about something, and Shayna says, whatever you're selling, we're not interested in that. She makes Zoe walk away. Zoe seemed interested, but Shayna was basically like, I know this, F that, whatever. We then move on to the Awesome Truth versus the Judgment Day. Before the first commercial, I did want to mention that JD is still hitting Finn randomly. Have you guys seen this? Seen these TikToks and everything? That JD always hits Finn before the commercial or after the commercial, or like when the camera isn't really... Like, it's stuff that you wouldn't pay attention to. Like, he kicked Finn in the dick when they were getting in the ring once. And it was an accident, but he still did it. He put his foot back to get in the rope and he kicked Finn in the dick. And like he's like put his hands up and punched Finn in the face. And here he got up on the top ropes and Finn was on the bottom part and he put his hands down and he punched Finn in the face. Apparently this just always happens with them. I don't know if it's a purposeful thing or JD's really that just absent-minded, not aware of his surroundings.
Ain't no way JD's doing that on purpose. He's just fucking with him at this point. He's like, yo, oh, what up, Finn? Bop.
So this match was good enough. It was, the awesome truth, man, getting everything in. Miz doing his it kicks, and R-Truth paying homage to his childhood hero John Cena, doing the "You Can't See Me" and the AA and all this good stuff. Basically, what's going to happen is that at the end of the match, Carlito's going to come out and try to help the Judgment Day win. It involves a lot of this help involves putting JD's foot on the bottom rope at one point, kind of getting up on the apron. But once the foot gets put on the rope, that's when Andre the Giant, did I say that? I meant Braun Strowman, is going to come down to the ring to destroy Carlito, absolutely destroy him. And then he's going to chase JD around the ring, who jumps into the ring at one point to escape, and he gets an AA for his troubles. Awesome Truth retain. Obviously, Braun Strowman was Andre the Giant, embraces R-Truth. Braun standing up for the little guy. We're doing the matchup with JD and Braun next week.
Who the hell's watching that? Who the hell's watching that shit?
I'm watching that. That's going to be an ass kicking. That's going to be hilarious.
We're literally going to turn it on and it's going to be over with.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be over as quick as Tozawa lost last week.
I think that what we're going to end up looking at is Damian going against Bron at some point. I think is what that's going to end up being.
I could see that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I think he's going to dispatch of Drew, goes against Braun. I don't know where we go from there, but I think that's probably going to be in the future. Because he's going to kill JD, and then he's going to have to go against Finn, and he's going to kill Finn. And then it's just going to be maybe Carlito, but it's going to get to the point to where it's just Damian left, So
you say Braun runs through Judgment Day?
Yeah, Braun's going to run through the Judgment Day, pretty much. Well, Damian's going to beat him, but outside of that, yeah. We're going to switch to the back where Becky's congratulating Lyra, and after that, Lyra's going to walk down the hallway where she runs into Liv, who also congratulates her on her win, but says that she is surprised that she didn't have Becky help her like she helped her with her sneak attack last week. Liv fakes out Lyra by making her think Becky's behind her to make her turn around, and sneaks in a sucker punch and giggles as she walks away. So we're going to do that match at some point down the line. We see Sami Zayn in the back, hanging out with his title, whatever he does, and Big Bronson Reed's going to walk up and tell him not to worry about Chad's mind games because Braun himself is soulless and everything is just business with him. Basically threatens to kick his ass, he says he's going to win, and walks away. After Bronson walks away, Otis is standing behind Sammy, which kind of startles Sammy. Sammy's going to verbally berate him for a little bit, and then Otis apologizes for what happened. Sammy says, stop listening to Chad, start listening to the fans. We're then going to get into our what?
He's not wrong.
No, but that what this tells me is that not only is Chad going to lose, but then we're going to do exactly what I said was going to happen. Chad's going to lose, and he's going to be going against Otis. That's going to be a thing. It's going to be the opener for a Clash at the Castle or some dumb shit like that.
Otis needs to stand on business. That's all I'm saying. Stand on business.
He going to stand on Chad.
He needs to.
So we're going to get, after this, our Becky Lynch segment. We're going to go ahead and fly through this because it's just a normal segment of we're going to talk some trash, but because our match is on Saturday, that's all it is. Becky comes out, starts talking about how Liv has never beat her, obvious. says that Liv's new strategy is running from fight and sucker punching people. Liv comes out and says that Becky's gaslighting the WWE universe and says that she doesn't care about any of the women there. She only cares about about Becky, or she doesn't care about any of the women there, and she barely cares about Becky. All she cares about is completing the revenge tour. Becky goes on to say that Liv doesn't care about anything. All she cares about is herself, and asks what happens after the revenge tour. Liv echoes this and says that Becky's the most selfish person in WWE, and that when the revenge tour is over, she will be at the top of the division where she belongs as the WWE Women's Champion. Becky tries to get Liv in the ring for a fight. Liv will tease entering the ring and then jump down at the last second, and she says, I elect to do the smart thing because we have a match in 5 days, and after that match, I will be your new WWE Women's Champion. Cry about it. That's what she says. So at this point, G, if you can put up the who will win between Becky and Liv or whatever, if you can throw that poll up for me, that'd be awesome. So after this, we're gonna cut to Damian fuming in the back after watching them after watching the Judgment Day lose, and he says that he told Carlito that he needs to earn his keep. And Dom says that JD was the one who was supposed to take care of Strowman, which starts a small argument between the two until Damian breaks it up and says that JD needs to go to Adam Pearce and ask for a match with Strowman next week. Damian storms off saying, I don't even recognize the Judgment Day anymore. Finn basically is going to reiterate, hey, yeah, we need to get this match. So after that, Xavier's going to be in the back, says gets his knee medically cleared, and Kofi goes to Adam. Scarlett and goes to talk to Adam. Kofi goes to talk to Adam, and Scarlett and Karrion Kross are going to walk up and say that they know that he's had a hard time lately, but there's always time to turn things around. So he said that to Kofi, and then he said it to Xavier. He said it to them on separate occasions. So my question is what game is he playing? Because why is he talking to them separately? Like, is he trying to get them? Is he trying to get them to join them, or is he trying to turn them against each other? Like, it's a very weird thing.
The whole thing is weird, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that they're just struggling for a place to put Karrion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But either way, we're gonna get into our number one contenders match for the WWE Women's Championship. I knew that the WWE Women's Championship titles existed somewhere. So here we go. We're getting our number one contenders match. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Katana Chance and Caden Carter versus Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile versus Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane making up Damage Control. Beginning of the match was awkward. It seemed like they didn't know what to do. Two people started, and then everyone got in the ring. Kairi Sane walked around like she didn't know what was going on. I was very, very confused at the beginning of this match. Did y'all feel that vibe at all, or like, am I wrong about that?
You're not wrong. It was just very weird as hell.
Disjointed.
Like, it just, yeah. There you go. That's the perfect word for it. Disjointed as hell.
Yep. Couple cool things. So Katana does a keg stand splash to the outside with the assistance of Caden Carter from the apron to the outside. I haven't seen that keg stand in a while. Basically just a handstand on hands is basically what happened, and then let her fall down, which I thought was pretty cool. Maxine Dupree is honestly looking better each week. Every time she gets in the ring, she looks better. I think that I can see her being a women's champion in like 2 years if she stays on this course. I could actually create a story for her where she becomes women's champion. It would take 2 years, but I think that she could do it. Match is going to break out into chaos a second time. after Katana and Kaden hit the after party. It was really weird because it was just a weird vibe, a weird feel, like no one knew what they were doing, but everybody kind of scrambled to opposite corners to do a superplex spot, which turned into one side doing a superplex and the other side doing a double team Hurricane Rana type maneuver. Maxine's gonna hit her reverse worm. Kairi Sane. So Maxine hits the reverse worm, turns it into an ankle lock, and then Kairi Sane takes advantage of that to hit the insane elbow for a near fall. None of that makes any sense though, or none of that works out for anybody though, because after all of this, Shayna and Zoe are going to hit the knockout blow on Maxine Dupree to become the new #1 contenders. So we're going to have Shayna and Zoe get absolutely destroyed by Bianca and Jade. Shayna will give Jade a run for her money. Zoe will do good against Bianca. I don't see much mixing happening there beyond that, but like, I mean, they're still gonna lose. They're not gonna win. I give them literally zero chance.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I'm there for it. I don't know.
I don't know. Like story timeline wise, I don't know. There's plenty of stuff that can happen.
Fair enough. I still put it at 0%. This podcast, episode 32, I'm saying there's no way in hell they win the tag championships. I don't see it ever happening. But, you know, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Being wrong is fun. But, moving on. Kayla's in the back with Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser, I should ask. And she asked him about, is Gunther overlooking Jey Uso? And basically, Ludwig puts over Gunther big, because that's what he's supposed to do, right? But then he just uses this as an opportunity to just absolutely take a full-on dump on Sheamus.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was random.
He went in hard.
So he did it last week, too. But the thing is like, last week it felt natural. This week it felt personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So my question is does Sheamus show up? Does Sheamus show up next week? Because Ludwig has got to do this again, right? So does Sheamus show up next week and just beat the absolute hell out of Ludwig? Or like, how does this go down?
I think he becomes an undercard for Jeddah.
What do you mean? Like, you think they're going to have a match in Jeddah at the pay-per-view?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be cool. Like an impromptu match. Like, he comes out and starts talking trash, and Sheamus is like, why don't we just do this right now? I like that. I think that'd be cool. I would honestly like to see that happen. That's something that hasn't happened on a pay-per-view in a long time. I would like to see that happen. Make it happen, Papa H. So,
Papa H, really?
That's what they call him. I don't know. That's what people call him now. I don't call him that.
You just did.
Well, I call him that on podcasts.
And you're the only person I've ever heard say that.
No, people say that online. So, after Ludwig...
Stephanie doesn't even say that.
Oh, no, she says that.
You sure he doesn't call her Papa?
Papa stuff.
You know what? I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment on what I think, do or do not think of Stephanie and Mr. H's love life. But I will say that after Ludwig walks away, Drew McIntyre walks up and says that he is wondering why he is here. Since Adam medically disqualified him from the tournament, he says that people want to hear him, and so they're going to hear him. He says that Damian is a paper champion, and just like Seth, he's spreading himself way too thin. With the Judgment Day, with Braun Strowman, with the LWO, with Carlito, and with everything else he has going on. He says that he now has what he wants, which is a shot at the title, and he will beat, or in that he beat a real champion at WrestleMania, and he's going to beat Damian at King of the Ring. You know what's really interesting about this is that by all by all available metrics, Drew actually should win. And I don't want that to happen. I'm just going to say that. I'll say that right now. Like, I do not want Drew to beat Damian. But, like, if you're talking about, like, unspoken power level, right? Drew has more power than Damian. Or they're about even.
Are we in fucking Dragon Ball all of a sudden?
Look, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
It's over 9,000.
Look, you know what I'm talking about. Like their star power, their God dang
it. His power level's increasing. No, I get what you're saying. Drew
I do too. It's just your wording. I'm sorry.
His power level's immaculate.
Oh my God.
It's all fail. No, I get what you're saying. Drew does have more like backing and more star power, but I mean, Damian, he's getting his now. You know, he's been kind of looked over. They know he's been a beast. They know his actual power is like heavy, but now he's finally getting some recognition. He's finally has a belt on his waist, so now he can get the star power. But I don't know. We'll see when it happens, man. I mean, that match could legit go either way.
I mean, I agree. It really could. Starting a new poll. Let's see. Why is that not? Okay. Very good. Yeah, we're starting a new poll. Who's going to win the title at King, Queen of the Ring? Drew or... Who's the other guy? Damian. No. Drew or the paper champion. No, look, I will say this. I love Damian. I think he's great. And I don't like his championship run so far. And yes, he's only had it 4 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Well, a little bit more. But like, I don't like the championship run so far that he's having. I think it needs to be more.
He hasn't really defended it like talking about it. He hasn't really wrestled. When was the last time he wrestled?
Backlash?
Yeah. That was one. What about before that?
He didn't. He's become he's become a pay-per-view champ. But that's what all the championships are now, man. They're all pay-per-view champions now.
But at the same time, like, he's not. Yes, he's getting the recognition, but it seems like an Io Sky run. You know, we hyped her ass up and she finally got the belt, and then all of a sudden it was nothing after that. Legitimately nothing. And then she'll have a match here or there, and then she lost it.
Yeah. True that.
That's what it's feeling like. But
true.
I don't know. Maybe having him fight Drew will actually do something. You know, give some credibility to his run. But as of right now, it's just.
And that could be what this is all about. You're right. Beating Drew gives you a little bit of credibility. he's like a main boss. You know what I mean?
But I mean, most of the title runs right now are very meh.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's had a baller run so far. Everybody's just kind of there.
Yep. That's why Tiffany needs to get a title. So,
she won't.
So we're gonna go to
Nobody
the
loves
back.
her.
If she, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go to the back, and Creed Brothers is gonna be with Chad Gable. Very interesting because the internet was talking about the Creed Brothers joining up with him, and the last thing he says is, "Hey, think about what I said." So they might actually be doing this team up, which I think would be great. If they do this team up, yeah, like we're looking at a team that should on paper be unstoppable. So Chad and Otis, right? So Otis walks up and asks, Chad says, "Where have you been?" He says, "Hey, I want to apologize to Sammy." And Chad thinks in his head that this is Otis trying to soften Sammy up. And he says, you know, "I can't wait for you to help me win the title belt," you know, whatever. And he makes Otis say the words, "No matter what." And then Chad says, "Great, that's awesome. I'll see you on the plane to Jeddah." So most likely something big's going to happen, I would assume, with them. I think the breakdown's going to happen here. And then on Raw, we'll see the actual turn. And it will be Otis versus Chad after that. We'll start that program. And then Chad gets taken out of the picture. And then Sammy can feud with someone new.
Or he can lose the belt. You don't care about Sammy.
Well, you know, if he loses the belt, he would drop it to Bronson Reed, I would assume.
And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. So we're going to get into our last area of the night, Jey Uso versus Gunther. So we start off with a little segment in the back where Jey hypes himself up, says that Gunther's going to catch the yeet down, and he's going to yeet all over him and whatever, and he's going to become king of the ring. And then Jey does the walk from the back to the ring. You see all that happen. You see all the fireflies, all the good stuff. The day one is just me, Oos. Day one is just... Sorry. So you see all that stuff. And then... and then the... Why y'all look depressed? So...
another poll in the chat, guys. Just a question.
Would we be better off without him?
Nah, ain't nobody gonna vote for that. So we're gonna get into this Jey Uso versus Gunther match. For Jey, or for Gunther, the limb that is focused on is gonna be the arm. Gunther's gonna dominate most of this match. Jey gets some pieces of hope here and there. The biggest piece of hope that he had was near the end where he knocks out the ref with his spear to splash combo. Where it looks like he would have gotten a 3 count had the ref not been knocked down. Not buying it. After that, Gunther's going to grab him, do what feels like a very personal beatdown. And then he's going to put him in some kind of like modified Cobra clutch position move almost. Putting his body weight on top of him. Jey is going to pass out from the pain. Jey is going to pass out from the pain.
It's supposed to be a fucking choke. You know, it's supposed to be a blood choke that causes him to go out. But it was so poorly fucking executed that whoever did the shit tried to restate it as a... Oh, he passed out from the pain. No, it was just dumb shit. Didn't put it in right, and Jey just had to go with it because it was the storyline.
I don't think that's accurate because he
had look at it. A choke needs to either be on your air or it needs to be a blood. He didn't have either. He had his arm on his fucking chin. He had nothing in that choke. There is no reason Jey would. None.
So. This is why I disagree with you. Because
have you been put in one of those chokes? I have.
Yeah,
I promise.
I put people in the choke.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that the entire match he worked the arm of Jey, and then at the very last part of the match he grabbed Jey's arm and he wrenched it and put it in a position that made it look like it was being manipulated. So wrestling psychology-wise, he was telling, like it might have looked like a choke to some people, and it might have supposed to have been a secondary, like the secondary aspect of it might have supposed to have been a choke, but it's the wrestling psychology side of it is that his arm was being wrenched. Like that's the idea. That's why he grabbed the arm, because that's the limb he moved. He worked the entire match. But I can also see that. I can see the choke side as well. But if it was a choke, you're right. It was completely effed up.
Fucking choke. I mean, I get where you're coming from the psychology side of it, but the move that he put him in was a choke. It's what he was trying for, and he just didn't execute it worth a fuck. It's one of the few times I can say Gunther fucked up, because it didn't look good at all.
It's fair.
I was extremely disappointed with the end of the match in that. Like, I didn't care that it ended in essentially a submission if they'd done it right. It looked sloppy.
The one thing I do like about Gunther is that every single match, not every single match, but a lot of his matches, he tries to end differently. He ended one match with a half Boston Crab, ended another match with a full Boston Crab, ended this match with a supposed choke. He's ended other matches with a power bomb. The one thing that I like about Gunther is that his dominance isn't all only to one move. Like, he doesn't have to hit the blue thunder bomb and then the haluva kick to win a match. He can beat you with a bunch of different things.
I agree with that. I mean, I'm happy Gunther went over. I honestly, we had a whole story that we put together on the side because that looked like it was bloodline. But in all honesty, I would Gunther go over than I would to CJ. I think Gunther's a better choice to move forward.
I agree.
So I'm happy that happened. I just think the ending needed to be done different because I didn't enjoy the ending at all.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. We got the double swerve. We did get the double swerve with both with the King and the Queen of the Ring. The people, I mean, at least for me, the people that I chose to win, neither one of them won, and I'm actually very happy about that. Outside of the fact that my feelings that I said earlier about I don't know if Lyra was the right one and things like that, I also appreciate a swerve. So the King and Queen of the Ring it looks like they're starting to become more about what they're supposed to be about, which is wrestling skill and perseverance over random obstacles than pushing a storyline, which I'm very happy about.
Mm-hmm.
Again, great swerve in my opinion. And that was the show, though. It went right off the air. A lot of people were upset that it went off the air abruptly, and I just think that they ran out of time. I think is what really happened. I just think they ran out of time and they just had to end it. But people were like, "Oh, they didn't give Gunther the proper respect because they don't care about Gunther and this, that, and the other." I'm like, I don't know. I think that's a complete lie. I think that there's evidence all over the contrary. Do what?
Yeah, that's it. It legit went off at 8. Like when it went off the air, it was 8 o'clock. It was like, all right, we got to move on to the next shit. Oh, right. So, yeah.
Something that I've learned recently: the winner of whoever wins King and Queen of the Ring will get a shot at the WWE titles of their gender, respectively. So we could be seeing Nia or Bianca or Lyra versus Becky or Bayley at SummerSlam, and we could be seeing Gunther or Tama. Excuse me, Gunther or Tama or Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes or Damian at SummerSlam. So it's pretty interesting. Makes it easy to make matches, by the way, without a storyline too. But that was Raw. So my question is, do we have any pressing news this evening, gentlemen?
I haven't had time to look anything up, so no.
I've got one bit of news that probably nobody will care about. However, it runs off of what I said like maybe a month or so ago. Ruby Soho, formerly known as Ruby Riott, got married to her baby daddy / fiance. So congratulations to Ruby Riott.
Is that the news? Yeah. Oh, I thought there was a caveat to that. All right, cool. Yeah.
No, motherfuckers just got married. All right.
Yeah, congratulations to her for finding somebody who would marry her.
Stop.
What are you talking about? I didn't say anything wrong. Maybe the way I phrased it was bad. I'm sorry. If the way I phrased that was bad, I apologize. If I'm listening to myself back, I guess that sounds like I was being a dick. I'm sorry.
He's just jealous because she found somebody to marry.
Oh my God! All right. Well, you want good news? Good review. You come to It's All a Work. Yeah.
Hey, if you're doing it, take it out right. You gotta say it now.
I'm not saying that shit.
Snap into a podcast. Ooh, yeah.
We out.
In the podcast. In the podcast.